All right, here we are. Oh my gosh, I'm just like out of it. Sorry guys. We are Fight on Montana. We are back. Sorry for the couple days off, couple weeks off.
Yeah.
But we are back. We're gonna do a men's basketball, women's basketball kind of preview, kind of get you caught up, kind of talk about where they are, what's happening. We'll also go into some football news and also talk some Griz hockey. Hopefully it doesn't go off again. Luke and I were just looking at some awesome things on Griz hockey, and then all of a sudden it like blew up and like started like doing something about Mile High or something.
I don't know. It was weird.
It was weird.
We couldn't figure it out.
And we couldn't shut it off either. So it was really weird. So anyways, guys, make sure to rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast wherever you get the podcast. That helps us out greatly. I think we have about 30 on Apple, and then
Awesome.
on Spotify. I think it's pretty close to that too. So give us those
7 people to do it, so we hit 37.
There you go. That would be sweet.
That would be sweet to hit.
That
37.
would be sweet. Or 370.
That would be cool too.
That would be cool too. So give us those 5-star reviews. Give us a review as well. But also, give us a follow on Twitter. Fight on Montana. Also on Instagram. We'd love to contact you guys and kind of go back and forth. So if you guys want to get us there, get us there. But Luke, how are you, buddy?
Doing well. It's it's been a while since we got to do this. It seems like both of us have been really busy with work and other things, and finally have found a little time here to carve out and do a little pod action. Plus, there's some news that popped out too. So regarding football and basketball has been in action, and been good.
Well, Well, let's get into just the news. Coach Houck's coming back, right? That's one of the main things. He's signed his contract and another 3 years.
Yeah, it was driving, I think, everybody nuts because they waited till the last minute to finally announce it. But 3-year contract extension. I mean, I was thinking anywhere from 3 to 5 is kind of what my thought was. And, I think 3 is a good deal. And plus, he upped his funds. He's probably one of the top FCS coaches now getting paid. And then it looks like he got his assistants paid too, which is awesome. Like a bunch of bonuses and things. And so, it's great. I mean, like we talked about all year, he bet on himself is what it looks like. And got himself paid. So congratulations to Coach Houck. I'm pumped that he's staying. I mean, he bleeds maroon and silver, and I want him to stay too, just to make that record of the most FCS wins untouchable. So it's Montana record forever.
Well, and just to kind of go into the numbers, guys, 265 is what he's going to be making a year. That's a jump from 221. There's a ton of incentives just with this deal, which is awesome. If you can get incentivized, I would love that too if I could get that. So
I love hanging the carrot out there. Like, come on, do all this stuff, make this stuff happen.
So his incentives went from 279 to 417. That's huge. That's
almost
really
a 50% jump. Yeah, that's big time.
Yep. And then you've got bonuses for assistants and bonuses for strength coaches, totaling up to $31,000, $24,000 for the strength coaches. And then he got bonuses for the staff too. I think they're like $6,000 or $7,000 too. So
there's bonuses for everybody. Each assistant can get up to like almost $32,000 in bonuses. So bravo to him and stuff. That'll help us get, as we all know, there's going to be coaches that are going to leave. We've been hearing some rumors. We're going to have some coaches that are leaving. But that'll help us get better coaches in because of that. And if you haven't been paying attention, we've been killing it on recruiting right now. That's what happens when you go to a national championship.
Well, like some of these incentives, play 7 or more regular season home games, $50,000. Beat 1 or more non-conference teams that made FCS playoffs in the past 2 years. That's another $5,000. Beat 1 or more top 25 teams. That's $2,500.
Look at that next year. We have the opportunity with UND and Missouri State.
Yeah, and I think we'll have
Last few years.
7. I think we'll have 7 home games
Yeah,
too, don't we?
I think we do. Yeah.
So that's 50,000 right there. So probably some of the things that they knew that were going to happen too. So,
Yeah.
um, but
Well, it's a lot of
man,
times those incentives will be like, here's the easy ones to get, and then they have as you climb. I'm sure there's an incentive there too. Win the national championship, get
yeah,
paid.
yeah,
You know,
yep. So yeah, congrats to Coach Hauk. Also, we have a lot of our players staying. Bergen is staying. Keelan White is staying. Fonts is staying. Those are the ones that we know are for sure are staying.
yeah.
Because I did see a pretty cool graphic from them that they're staying. From
Pretty
all
sure Riley Wilson ain't going anywhere. He's got a new wallpaper they just put out.
exactly, yeah, I was
So,
just gonna say that, and then I also what I'm hearing is Grossman's back in school there, and he's back, and so
I can
that's what I've
confirm
heard.
he's 100% back.
He's 100% back. Okay,
That's from his dad.
okay,
He
so
will be here next year, and he is pumped to play, and he is in
that's
prime
awesome.
condition.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
So
And that's going to be interesting too, and just to have 2 tight ends that we had one. Schaefer did a really good job. He was more of a
Schaefer,
blocking.
well, he loves blocking. He loves
Yeah,
blowing people up.
yeah,
That's awesome. And then Grossman, I mean, he's strong as hell too. He can blow people up, but man, he's got the hands and the
yep.
speed. I mean, yeah.
Something that I think that will be just another our offense. Knock on wood, should be a whole lot better than it was this year. We do lose some things on the line, but they've
Yeah.
got another Cal transfer. They've probably get in, maybe at least one more transfer, I believe. I would hope so. And then they've got some offensive line depth coming in the freshmen. It's got a new freshman from California as well. So,
and I heard a lot of good things about our scout team offensive line this last
yeah,
year. Just they were kept getting better and better. And so we got some other guys we probably haven't seen yet that are coming up. So it's exciting with our offensive line play. And we lost Cliff. He's going to Temple now.
yep.
But Ayat has passes the eye test, looks the part.
Yep.
And we got the kid from Fresno too.
Logan Fife.
Yeah, and so we got him, Ayat. I mean, Vidlak's still there. He didn't go. I mean, I keep thinking he might leave, but
yeah,
he's still there as far as we know. So, but Ayat's obviously the future, and they kept saying that all year.
Yep.
Ayat's the future, and that's why I kept thinking, Bobby's not going to talk like that if he's bolting. And
well, no.
Somewhere. So,
well, and he never says that about a quarterback either. Like to say that, yeah, to say that and to actually play a freshman, you kind of figured that, hey, that news came out that they wouldn't burn a red shirt if they played him those 3 or 4 games, and then they were like, hey, let's play this guy, and I'm sure that family was told that, hey, he's actually going to play, and they were able to
but he still didn't burn his red shirt. He still has it.
Yeah.
So that counted. So now we still have 4 years, which is just
crazy.
Huge. I mean, we've never had that. I mean, if he can stay healthy, oh my gosh, we've been begging for that. And two, I mean, it's pretty sweet that he's a legacy. That's so cool.
Well, yeah, and come from Hawaii and have that kind of a family tie. I just wish him the best, and I can't wait till next year, man.
I can't wait till spring ball just to
I know, right?
See that stuff. And I mean, they're already out. The boys are working. If you watch Instagram or anything like that, they're showing photos of them hitting the weight room. I mean, I think they're on a mission. There's some unfinished business that they want to take care of. So
yeah, and I think that we've gone over the somewhat really quick of the schedule too. It's not a hard schedule by any means.
On paper, it looks like it's very advantageous to us to win a lot of games.
Yeah.
So
a lot of games that either are at home or teams that have lost a coach with a new coach or maybe second year or something like that.
Yeah.
So knock on wood, you never know, but from right now, we're looking pretty good. So
yeah, things are looking pretty good. We should be ranked in the top 3.
Yeah. I would be way surprised if we were not.
Yeah, we should be in the top 3. Worst case in the top 4 going into next year. And yeah, things are looking good. I mean, if guys can get healthy, just sky's the limit for next year, it seems like to me.
Well, and the one thing I have a question on, and we'll go into it more, this next 3 or 4 months. But what team is going to be the sleeper team in the Big Sky?
Right.
Because you're going to have like we've always had 4 or 5 teams.
Mm-hmm.
Now you look at it, Idaho lost a whole heck of a lot, but they're getting some good guys. But who's their quarterback going to be?
Yeah.
Eastern looks like the team that they should probably jump up, but you just never know.
Yeah, you never know.
Sac State lost a lot.
Yeah.
They were up and down last year. So who's that team? You've got Weber, but Weber didn't do very well last year either.
Yeah.
It'll
be interesting to see after February 7th here, where everybody kind of lands with all the recruiting classes and all that stuff. And yeah, I mean I think that's some fun pods we could definitely do, is kind of break down all the Big Sky teams after the recruiting's done and kind of go, okay, who do we think, it'd be fun to kind of rank the whole Big Sky where we think it's going to be, and then see how the hell we did come the end of next season. Like, oh God, we were, or even like preseason where they end up ranking them, because the Big Sky just do that and stuff. So,
well, and just to look at it, like, also just the fact that we have another, I think it's April, and I could be totally off. Isn't it April 17th that the portal, or no, maybe April 5th? I don't know. It's somewhere mid-April. I know that the portal opens up again.
Let me see if I can find out. I think you're right. I just cannot remember.
I
can find it real quick.
So that's going to be interesting to see what happens with that, with just other teams too, like South Dakota State. Do they lose their quarterback? And so it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, well, I don't think South Dakota State's quarterback's not going anywhere.
See, but he's isn't he a graduate though? So he can go anytime.
He could, but I mean, but he announced in South Dakota he ain't going anywhere. Like locally, he said that he's staying, and I commend the guy. Like, unless for some reason he gets some like crazy offer, it looks like he's not going anywhere. So,
and the only thing is why? Like, honestly, why would you? Like, you've got a good team coming back. Why wreck it going to a team that might not do well?
Yeah, well, that's like, and a lot of people have said that about Cliff. He went to Temple.
Yeah,
where he's not going to play in front of the fans. They don't have the support. They might make some crappy bowl game next year. I mean, the chances of them making the 12 playoff is slim to none.
Well, and I think it's always grass is greener on the other side, and I don't know Clifton, and I do know his track record with. He's been to a lot of schools, and so I think he's searching for something that he wants to do, and go get it. He did really well this year, and if he wants to do that, like, there's no, like, go get what your dream is, playing in the FBS.
Yeah, I mean, if that is your dream, go get it. It's like,
so but it. Did he want to go to Temple? I think he may have been promised something out there that wasn't probably what he was going to get.
Yeah. And that's one thing that bothers me. I think there's a lot of kind of fake boosters out there promising things to kids. And then they go and they're like, oh, well, yeah, it wasn't that whole thing. Like, we just wanted to, and then it's not what they thought. And,
then they're stuck, and, you got to find somewhere to land. And so best of luck to him.
Well, I'll be watching Temple, see how he does.
Yeah.
I think a lot of Griz Nation will, because I'm so happy what he did for us.
Yeah.
And I will support him and watch him and see how he does out there. I mean, just like when Samari left, I watched a ton of Nebraska all of a sudden. Bushini, who's the punter out down there in Nebraska, I still try to see how he's doing and stuff. I did find out about the portal. So the portal will open again on May 1st, and we'll have a 15-day window.
So it opens up May 1st. I thought it said something about maybe they had to be in by April.
7 Sports, that's when it's going to open again. And then it says it's open for a 15-day window. So with that, after that window, players can still technically enter the portal 45 days outside that window. But if they do, they have to sit out a season then.
Oh.
Before being eligible. Because see, some of this stuff, it says that the NCAA changed this. It says they're cracking down on multi-team transfers. So this might be some of those changes that are happening.
Interesting.
Again, this is according to 24/7 Sports, but it does match above here. They said that the original one was December 4th through January 3rd, which matches what we had, and then we got the extension, of course, because you're in the championship game. Or the other thing that happens is if your coach leaves, the team automatically gets an extra 30-day window anytime a coach, and it says that in here too, that if a coach is fired or leaves, a head coach, the team gets an automatic 30-day window of transfer portal. So with that too, like let's say sometime between now and spring ball, a coach leaves or quits or fired, because that could still happen. Most of this would be done, but that could happen. Or a guy could just say, you know what, I'm done with this.
Yeah.
Then it opens up this special window just for that team, basically. But at the same time, every other team's then looking for any players we might want from that team. It's like,
yep.
So anyways, little education.
One thing that I didn't want to forget too, Dreiss on the offensive line.
Yeah.
He has said that he is forgoing, right? He's not going to be playing football anymore.
Yeah.
So that's a loss to our backups. And so
I think
5 years is a lot of years to be playing football. So
he's been playing for a long time. He's had a good time, and it has nothing to do with the team or anything. He's got his master's degree. His mom posted that. She's like, congratulations, get your master's degree. Eventually everybody, you got to move on and stuff. And I think he's happy with where he's at and is ready to move on. And congratulations to him. We'd love to have him for another year, but man, that's awesome. Good for him.
Yeah. He graduated and that's awesome.
Yeah.
To have a master's degree and it paid, like
that would be
man.
Huge. Yeah.
Crazy. Well, any other things last before we go into the men's and women's basketball?
No, just I guess Adam and I were talking, and signing days on the 7th, and so look for us to try to get some of the new players that we signed on the pod and stuff. We're gonna work on that, and we'll definitely be talking a lot of Griz football recruiting and stuff too, and all the people that are coming in and all that stuff. So there's a lot of people who've committed. I think both of us feel like let's wait till the official signing day is done, so then for sure, because you just never know what can happen. And Bobby's notorious for this. I'm grabbing kids at the last minute on the last day or something, and I thought it was awesome that he offered Vegan's kid. I just love that he does. I mean, he's got Barney's son already, so why not get Vegan's kid over here? That's such a Bobby move. So I thought that was funny. But yeah, look for those pods coming up where we'll kind of preview all the good players we got coming in and stuff.
Yeah, definitely. So guys, we are going to jump from football to men's and women's basketball. So let's just go into men's and then we can go into women's.
Sure.
Let's kind of go through a preview, guys. So this is how I kind of thought, kind of update you on who we have on the team. And then kind of go through the schedule and see where we're at, guys. Some of the new guys that you are going to be seeing, or maybe you have seen. One of the main ones is Money Williams. He's a guard from Oakland, California. Had been starting and unfortunately hurt his foot, which is a shame because he's 6'4" guard. Really was doing really well. Hopefully, I've heard that he's in a boot, and hopefully maybe in February, middle of February, we might be able to get him back the Big Sky tournament.
It'd be nice to get him back because he's a really good player.
He's a really good player. I don't know how we got him out of California, honestly. He's really good. We have Chase Henderson. He's a 6-foot freshman. And then you've got, the guys, Josh Vasquez. You've got Jackson Knapp. Those guys haven't changed, but you do have a redshirt senior, 6'5", Jordan Williams. He was from, I believe, Santa Clara. He basically, I believe he coming off a ACL or MCL tear.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
but he was at Santa Clara for 4 years, and then missed the 2023 season, repairing an injury. So that's a new face. Let's see some new guys. Zach Davidson, he's a freshman from Santa Ana, California. Really haven't seen him at all. Really haven't seen Rhett Reynolds a little bit in the downtime. He's a 6'9" redshirt freshman from Shelby, Montana.
Nice, Shelby.
There we go. And then Adam Schaff, he's a senior from Redding, California. And then you've got Connor Dick, freshman from Missoula, Montana, 6'3". Caden Bateman, he's 6'7". He's a redshirt freshman. And then another guy that we have, and both of these guys we've seen sparingly, Tejan Sawyer. He is a one big man. Holy cow, 6'8", 252. He's just fun to watch. He just takes the ball in the middle of the court and just bully balls and just drives you down to the block and just does a layup. And he's really fun to watch. He's a junior this year. And then you've got Blake Jones. He's from Canberra, Australia. I believe he was from like either Jane or George Washington.
Oh, really?
Or somewhere on the, come on, it's coming here. George Mason. There you go. He played 51 games for the George Mason, averaging about 7 minutes a game per contest there. So he's a big guy as well. He's 6'10", I believe. Yeah, 6'10", 225. So we got that NBA kind of like foreign kind of global kind of talent there. So so we've got some new talent. We've got the same faces where, we've got Deshaun Thomas. You've got Moody. You've got Whitney. And so it's kind of interesting to see because right at the start of the year, they were playing Money Williams a lot. Unfortunately, he goes down.
Yeah, he was playing a ton.
Yeah.
He's always on the floor.
Yeah. And so you've got kind of some three kind of things in this schedule. And let's go through the schedule just because you can kind of see where in the schedule where you kind of see the influxes of that injury. Yeah. But one thing that I really love to see between the men's and the women's basketball, they have played some good talent this year. So if you look at the men's, they played Oregon at Oregon. That game was closer than what it ended up being. Griz were first half were pretty tight with them. They lost by 14. But the Griz played UC Davis, North Dakota State. They went to Houston and playing. I think Houston's still in the top 4, top 5. Lost by 35 points there, so that was a hard showing. Went to Nevada, played San Jose State. Played San Jose State and UC Davis twice, and then got into this the Big Sky tournament or Big Sky conference schedule. That first Big Sky conference game, went to Weber State, got beat down by 30 points. That was shocking to see. And I think that was, if I don't recall, I do believe that's when we lost money. I believe it was either that game or the previous game. They were playing with Money Williams without that game. So, 30-point loss without having a guy that you've been playing with for a good portion of the year. There's going to be some type of getting used to what's going on, right? And so that was an up and down. So in the beginning of the year, you're trying to gel with the new players. You lose one of your starters, you lose by 30. And so we've kind of had this kind of like, who's going to step up? Who's going to, fill that role? It's been really interesting. There's been some ups and downs.
But yeah, it feels almost sometimes like Jekyll and Hyde a little bit. Like they're really good, and then it's like, like even in the middle of a game, it's like we're playing awesome, and then all of a sudden what the heck's going on? We're not all of a sudden we're just not making buckets and just
Yeah.
It's very frustrating at times. So,
Well, yeah, and usually that comes with, for the last couple seasons, usually that comes with our offense.
yeah,
And this year, it's not our offense. Our offense, when we're on and we're flowing, we're over 70. We're averaging over 77 points a game,
right.
which that's great. But it's the defensive side of the ball. Yeah, we're averaging 77, but opponents are averaging 71 against us.
Yeah.
And that is not usually Montana basketball. Usually you're playing that frontline defense where you are, well under 65 at least.
Oh yeah.
Opponents are shooting 44% against us. 33% from 3-point land. So it's kind of that margin. We're only got a 2.5 margin on rebounds too. So it's kind of interesting to see that. Like Luke said, we have been Jekyll and Hyde. You really saw it against that Northern Colorado team too.
Yeah, that was the frustrating one that I watched. It was just like, I mean, we had them, and then all of a sudden we just, let it go, and it goes into overtime, and then it was just like we couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
It was just frustrating. It felt like we just let that one go. We should have had that one.
Yeah, you're up 10 points with 4 minutes remaining in the second half.
They were playing so well, and then it just, yeah.
Yep. You lose that lead. You go into overtime and you lose in overtime by like 7.
Yeah.
I think it was like 98-92. Which it's so kind of like you look at guys right now. We're 14-7, 5-3 in the conference. Those 3 conference losses have been a 7 or 6.1. I can't remember against UNC, which we should have won. A 30-point beatdown by Weber State, where we're trying to figure out our rotations, and a weird game off of 2 rivalry wins against Portland State, where we lost by 26.
Yeah.
So it's mind blowing. And the Portland State one, like, to give you guys some backstory on that, we played that Saturday. We played Montana State. We beat them. We played Monday at home against Weber, beat them, and then we traveled to Portland State on Thursday. I heard that they didn't get out of the airport. They got delayed in Missoula.
Really?
And they didn't get to Portland until like Thursday, like at midnight.
Oh, geez.
And so, it was going to be travel with 2 emotional games. That Weber State game, you get beat by 30, you're going to want to prove something. So they're coming off to that might have a point, but it just seemed that Portland State game, if you watched it, it was not good. The offense was stagnant.
I didn't watch it, but I was watching the kicker and just like, what are we doing? Because it's frustrating.
Yeah. In Portland State, they play, they guard you so well, and they pressure you. And so it was really interesting. You go from that game, we scrounge up a 70-67 game against Sac State, which if we would have lost that one, that would have been really bad. But we find a way to win that one. And then this week, guys, right now, as we're talking, we're playing Idaho. And then this Saturday, we've got a game against Eastern Washington, and Eastern Washington hasn't lost a game all year.
Yeah, they're playing good basketball. We're up by 1 point right now against.
Oh my God!
No, we're not. We're down. Sorry.
Oh no,
we're down 46-45. We got 16 minutes left though, so. I don't know why we're struggling against Idaho all of a sudden.
So, and Idaho's so weird because Idaho's played some teams really, really tough, but then you've seen Idaho just like be horrible. And I know they have a new coaching staff, but I don't think we should be losing to Idaho.
We shouldn't. I mean,
that's
I don't know much about Idaho, but they're 7-13. It's like,
yeah.
come on, guys. And according to Vegas, we're favored by 14.5 in this game.
Jeez.
That's where I'm like, that's where the frustration, that whole, like I said, Jekyll and Hyde team comes out. It's like, oh, hey, end of the third, ladies are up 61-43 over Idaho. So,
jeez,
go ladies.
Yeah.
But yeah, oh, jeez. The fact that we're favored that much and we're down right now, it's like, come on, guys, what are we doing?
Well, and one guy, that I forgot to Leilu Oki has been last year he was a JUCO transfer, and he's been really, really good for us in the inside, kind of solidifying that defensive. He's not going to score a lot for you, but man, did you see that dunk that he got onto Sports Center?
Oh yeah, that was awesome.
Oh my Lord! If you have not seen that dunk, go see that dunk. That was amazing.
That was way cool. Yeah, it was it made Sports Center top 10.
Yeah.
Because I saw it during the game, then I was like, oh my God, it's got, and I watched it that night. It was like, hell yeah, that's awesome. Yeah.
So, like we said, it said Jekyll and Hyde. Like
yeah.
And I don't know why we've got one of the oldest teams, almost, I believe, in the like top 10 in the nation for how old of a team we have. So it can't be experience. It can't be. It's almost just like mindset. It's a mindset, or it's I don't know. I don't know what it is. But it's got to be figured out. If you want to make a trip to March Madness, you've got to be able to be consistent.
Yeah, I mean, otherwise you're just gonna get this Jekyll and Hyde team will just get probably, it won't be pretty. So. No. And even the Big Sky tournament, we need to get this figured out so that we can play well in the Big Sky tournament and have that chance to make it to the, the big tournament, the big dance.
Exactly. So yeah, that's something to look out for, guys. We do have, a huge game. If you are in Missoula on Saturday at 7, go support the men. They're playing Eastern Washington. Eastern Washington's tough. They just reload, and they play a system that you just
seems that way, doesn't it?
Oh my gosh, it's like they're always good. They're 7-0. They haven't lost in the Big Sky. They're always big. They're always can shoot. It's interesting. It's just really interesting to see the difference. And so yeah, that's gonna be a tough game. If you lose one more, 5-3, 5-4, you're probably not going to be catching Eastern Washington with a 4-game cushion. Even if you have to play them at Eastern Washington, I don't think they're going to lose 4 more times.
So. This is a dumb question, maybe, because I'm just not sure. Where's the tournament this year? Do they predetermine that, or does it have to do with the regular?
It's in Boise.
Oh, it is in Boise. Okay.
Yeah, they've been having it.
They've been having it there the last few years, right?
Yeah. Okay. It's in Boise this year. Like for a long time, I loved it when the first place team used to hold the tournament.
Yeah, because we'd get it sometimes in Missoula. So, and that's right. I spaced that out. They have been having it in Boise for a while now.
Yeah.
So I guess central area for the teams to get and probably just because Boise's bigger. So.
Yeah.
I get
it. And then a lot of people were like, well, do it in Salt Lake or do it in Nevada or, Vegas.
Do it somewhere it's easier to fly into.
Exactly. Boise's not really a hub.
It's not easy to get there driving either. I mean, it's
no. Yeah. So, it is, nice for some of the teams, Montana State, it's not a bad trip going to Boise rather than going to some of these places. So, it'll be interesting to see. We've got a month, guys, and then we've got we've got the Big Sky tournament. So
March is almost here. So
it's crazy.
It's February, so we got end of this month. Yeah, it's basically and it's time.
Yeah, so, their last game is March 4th.
So,
and that's
we have a month to go. So,
So it'll be interesting. The women are kind of. You want to go to the women's side of it?
Sure.
It's very, very similar. The women are 14-5. Their conference record is 6-2 overall. You know, they can shoot the ball.
Yeah.
They're so fun to watch. They just broke the record, 19 made threes in a game.
Awesome.
They can do it against lower level teams, right? And not to say that they can't do it against, the upper echelon of teams, but that's what right now, that's kind of the thing. Like, can they raise up their play to meet those top teams, and can they shoot like they have been against those top teams? That hasn't been seen, not as of yet. And also, man, this team, I don't know if it's just the Lady Griz or if how they're training or what, but they always seem to have some type of a knee injury. They had 3 this year.
Yeah, they have been a lot every year, it seems like.
Yeah.
I don't
3 this year. 3 this year. And I think I kept on like wanting to Keely Burton Oliver. She was a force, and that background story last year was a great story. And I figured that this year she would blossom. She's a redshirt sophomore, but she's not with the team right now. So, losing players like that with injury is always tough. I know that we lost Macy Darnowski. She's a freshman that was supposed to be really good this year for us. She tore ACL. And then I think, if I'm not mistaken, Imogen Greenslade, and I think she's from Sydney, Australia. She's a center. I believe she got hurt as well. And I can't remember the other one, but
so this is interesting.
Yeah.
The knee injury thing. I just was curious. So I Googled, are females more prone to knee injuries? And according to Northwell Health, they are. And here's what they say. They say the anterior cruciate ligament, the ACL, that helps connect the upper and lower knee bone passes through a groove that is much smaller on females than on males, causing them to have more frequent ACL injuries.
Weird. I didn't even know that.
Had no idea. I mean, part of the back of my mind was like, I thought I heard that somewhere because I saw someone on SportsCenter or something that throughout women's basketball this year, there's been a plethora of different knee injuries across the whole country.
So what do you do with that? Like, how do you?
So like on here, it says recommended like muscling up your legs as much as possible, and I mean it's just one of those things.
Huh? Would like exercise in like a pool? Would that be better for you, or like? Huh? It's interesting.
Yeah. I mean, like now the National Institute of Health talks about it too, like how the ACL ligament is it's a much higher rate in basketball. Basketball, handball, and soccer are the 3 top ones for women to get knee injuries, it says, and they're much more prone than anybody.
Wow. That's well, I'm glad this is not a us problem.
It
was just a us problem.
Yeah, I think that's what when you were saying that, I was like, gosh, I thought I heard somewhere like on some sports show I was watching, they were talking about that because there's just been a lot of injuries this year for athletes. So
that's crazy. I didn't know that.
Science, baby.
Science. You gotta love it. A lot of the with women's, it's been kind of cool to see kind of just like the old and the new players gelling. Like we said, they can shoot the lights out of the ball. It's always been kind of, can they play enough defense so that they can get those stops? And so, they've been having a good year. You're waiting for that team. And not to kind of put pressure on this Lady Griz team, but when are they going to, go back to the old, right? Lady Griz, right? They played an amazing. Let's go into their schedule. Man, I love when coaches say we'll play anybody.
Right.
I'm a huge Tom Izzo fan. I'm a huge Michigan State fan. They play anybody, anywhere. They played, this Lady Griz team played Gonzaga.
Yeah.
In Missoula, which that's crazy that the Gonzaga came here. They played Washington State. Both of those are losses. Both of them, one was 13 and one was 12, which they were in those. They played Grand Canyon, at Grand Canyon, which they won. They played Loyola Marymount, which they won. They played Colorado State. They lost that one. And so San Diego, UC San Diego, some of these teams that, they did a really good job of getting some competition. And if you really just kind of look down at who did they lose to? Well, they lost to a Northern Colorado team in Northern Colorado that they maybe shouldn't have lost to.
Yeah.
That was kind of an off game. They lost by 10.
Both our men and women shouldn't have lost that weekend. They both
Yeah. That was a
bad weekend for basketball.
That was a bad. Yeah, that was a bad loss. Yeah, the guys will lost that one too. So they did come back and they beat Northern Arizona, which Northern Arizona is a good team.
Yeah.
They are right up there in the top echelon. They beat them in Northern Arizona, which that's hard to do too.
Yeah, hard to do. Yeah, we've always said playing in Northern Arizona is always tough.
Yep, 89-84, and then this one was the hard one for me. They lost to the Cats, and they were up. They were up a good amount in that game, and then they just went cold, and they could not do anything. And so it was really weird. Like they were up at half 29-25. And then the third quarter was horrible. They were outscored 19-12 and then 20-14 in the fourth quarter. And so the third quarters are kind of interesting for this team. It's either really, really, really good or really, really bad.
Yeah.
But some of the things that they ran were just like, what are we doing? And so I don't know. It's interesting because you look at Montana State, where Montana State was the team for women's basketball last year,
right.
and they lose a lot, and you lose to them. And not to take anything away from Montana State, they're they got a really good coach with Binford, but that's one of those games where I'm like, two of those, so two of those games the women played, you're thinking, well, if you could have got those,
right.
But those teams that are championship teams, that they beat the people that they're supposed to beat.
Right. Yeah.
And for both of these programs, men and women, we're not doing that right now.
No. I mean, I guess I've been looking up some stuff on the game the men are playing right now, and I guess they're turning the ball over like nonstop. And
oh, geez.
We're still only down 3 points at the moment, but it's just like, oh my goodness. So, and that's a team we should be beating. I mean, we should beat that. So that's the thing. It's like, if you've got to beat the teams you're supposed to beat,
Wow. Yeah. It's definitely something to keep an eye on. Also, just the droughts too. In that neighbor game with the Lady Griz, we had some droughts where they're huge. And so, looking at those, to look at the schedule, guys, for the women. Like I said, they're against Idaho right as we speak, as we were recording this, and then they've got a really tough game Saturday as well. They play Eastern Washington, and the Eastern Washington women are good this year as well. And so they're one of the top 3 teams in the Big Sky as well. Which following that, then you got to play Northern Arizona, which they're a great team too. So it's going to be interesting this next half of the month. It's do or die time. It's either you flounder and you don't make the tournament, or you rise above and you kind of build for this month of May, which I did not like. I don't like how it's in Boise. I don't know how they could make it different, but I loved the fact that the championship, the regular season champion, got the reward of holding the tournament, because now it really doesn't really matter. Like,
right.
You can say you're going after championship banners, but like, as you see, like in basketball, you can have the regular season banner, but if you don't make the tournament, you don't win your conference tournament. None of these teams, if you don't win the conference tournament, you're not going. And so a lot of these teams, they just play for the conference tournament, and who cares? You just constantly trying to get better.
Yeah. I think the reason they did the Boise thing too is just like following the other big schools, because they all have these destination places where they play their tournament. And so I think the Big Sky went, we'll do that too. It's like
Boise is a destination.
Well, yeah. I think like the Mountain West, I think they go to Vegas and play, and
Yeah.
But yeah, Boise, it's like, come on, man. We could do better, I feel like. So
57-56. 7 minutes left. Yeah. Sorry, we're watching it.
Yeah, I'm following it too. The ladies were still up. I've been jumping on Twitter to see them.
Okay. Yeah.
They're last I checked, they're up 65-51. So
yeah, they've
6 minutes left.
Yeah, they've got it. Hopefully.
That's what the men had to do against Northern Colorado, and we.
Oh man.
Anyways, I mean, there's everything's out there for the grab for both teams. Like they still have everything in their sights.
Yep.
I feel like we're talking football again. We said the same thing.
Exactly.
After a certain season, we can still do it. And we did. The football guys did it. So hopefully, basketball can do the same thing, and they can start rolling here, and then gets the thing is that the basketball too, that momentum. If they can get some momentum going into the tournament, even if we don't win the regular season Big Sky, you get that momentum going into the tournament. Well, that can be huge, and then you can just feed off that. So hopefully that's what happens.
Well, and it's so different. There's the amount of games that the basketball play. It's so different, and getting hyped up for each one of those is hard to do. And it's going to be interesting this next week. I was worried about this game against Idaho. Hopefully we're not overlooking Idaho to play this game against Eastern Washington, where in the back of your mind, you are waiting for that game. And so, being older as we are as in the men, you think you wouldn't do that, but it can kind of sneak up on you.
Yeah. You never know.
So, well, any last thoughts, man? I think that you guys we'll update you guys on basketball from time to time, and like I said, if you guys want to get a hold of us, I watch basketball all the time, and so you come talk to me no matter what, and we'll kind of continue to do every other week or whatnot and talk about it, but. Like Luke said, everything's right out in front of us. We can make some moves, and I think that if we do start making the women's program, I feel like is just on the precipice of coming back.
Yeah, it's close
with what they're doing, and so
it feels like they're on the right track. For sure.
Yeah, definitely. And some of the young talent that they have coming in and have that they're developing. It is great to see. And so, it's good to see. If you guys can't watch or can't go to the games, definitely get on ESPN Plus. They are not our sponsor, but they should be.
I love it because we can watch anything we want anytime.
Exactly. So definitely go check that out and get a hold of us, rate, review, and subscribe. But also, we were talking before we got into any of this. Griz hockey.
Yeah.
If you guys have not seen the Griz hockey blackout uniforms, please take 3 or 4 minutes and go check them out on grizhockey.com. They are doing a benefit jersey auction. These jerseys are sweet.
They are very cool.
Guys, and you can bid on these. You can bid your favorite player. In some of these, you can tell the favorite players, and so if you're one of your favorite players is not getting bidded on, go help their psyche,
help them out,
help them out, right?
There's also some blank jerseys on there too, if you want one that's blank, I noticed. So there's there's some they range anywhere from there's one for $700, I think, and then there's one for $20. So it's get on there and help these kids out. I already did. I am winning my bid at $55 at the moment.
There you go.
I
Good
can't help
job.
myself. But the bidding does end in a day, so it might be over when the podcast come out. I'm not sure. When you listen to this, it might have already been over. But
you're like, I hope it does.
Either way, like, Griz hockey is they're doing well. They're making momentum, and I think it's cool that we have a Griz hockey team. And they took a little thing from the football team. Let's do some blackout jerseys, and they are cool.
They are.
So, yeah.
So that ends, guys. That ends tomorrow. And we're recording on Thursday, so that ends on Friday at 9:30 Mountain Standard Time. So definitely go check it out. There's 35 jerseys.
Actually, 10 p.m.
10 p.m.
I got 1 day, 1 hour, and 26 minutes left.
Oh, because
some of them have different times.
Oh, really?
Some of them have 20. Well, there's like within a few minutes, some of them have different times. It looks like so it's close to 10 o'clock, but right around there. Yeah.
So right around there,
bit early and bit often.
Well, in these, what's awesome about these jerseys, guys, is these jerseys are going to be worn against the second game against the neighbors on February 2nd. So that's why they're kind of doing this. They're going to wear them, then they'll send them to you. So, so really cool.
Very cool.
So definitely go support them, guys. And as always, always get in contact with us any way that you guys can. And we'll see you guys on the flip side. Go Griz.
Yeah, go Griz.